Welcome to Blitz on Windstream Channel 4. I'm your host, Brian Carter. Remember that you can see all our highlights on YouTube, visit our Facebook page, or email us anytime at 3andoutsports@gmail.com. We've got something a little different in store for you today. With the school year 2011-2012 complete and all the kids out for the summer until the next week or so, we're going to do a show dedicated to the Habersham Central Raiders who won the BLITZ Cup Championship. But this will be done with the help of a sidekick, something we haven't done on the show before. Today's guest with me here on Blitz is Jeremy Wetherton, 2012 graduate of Habersham Central and a member of the school's record-setting basketball team from this past season. Jeremy, thanks for being with us on Blitz today.
You're welcome, Brian. Happy to be here.
I appreciate it as always, and we're going to kind of recap the school year. We're going to talk about the top sports in 2011 and 2012. That would be notably softball, football, both of the basketball teams, the golf squads, the soccer team. Talk first of all a little bit about the support that existed between the athletes of the different sports at Habersham.
Well, at Habersham Central, we often all the athletes would go to each other's events. We would all show up. Most of the people would go to the football games, and we'd arrive at basketball games and key games and soccer season. And we always supported the golf team every time. We may not have been able to go to the matches, but we were always supporting them. It was just a very tight-knit group. All the athletes were always there for each other, helping each other out, and it was a great community to be a part of.
And that goes a long way. And then again, it helps also, too, especially with the basketball team. You had a lot of players that were also on the football team. Mm-hmm. So, that gets other people more involved. Let me ask you another question, too, because I had this specifically to sports, and I had asked the golf coach this before, Coach Chitwood, I believe it was, when Coach Wallace's soccer team and the golf squad had, I think, a streak of, I guess it was 5 straight region titles.
I think it was 6.
5 or 6, yeah, 6 region titles. And I asked him if there was any competition there between the two. Yeah. Now, both of the coaches kind of threw that question aside, and they were like, no, we cheer for each other. But being that you're kind of not involved in golf and soccer, what do you think about that? Do you think there was any competition there?
There's always a little healthy competition. They pushed each other kind of thing, with each one of them winning a region title and having that streak, they pushed each other, and it really just worked out to where the competition actually helped them. And while they may not have acknowledged the competition, it helped them out and it convinced them to keep pushing harder.
I think there were a little bit of bragging rights there, but coincidentally enough, as great of a season as Habersham had this past year, it were those two programs that kind of, they had great years, don't get me wrong, but they did fall short of, usual year-to-year expectations for the soccer team, not winning a region title, which was a big shocker, and again, also with boys golf. Now, let's go ahead and just dive right in. Let's go down the list and recap team by team in 2011-2012, as Jeremy will help me recap. Habersham immediately got some points toward the BLITZ Cup with strong performances in the fall sports of football and softball. The 2011 Lady Diamond Raiders made a repeat appearance in the 4A state tournament, shockingly, after going 23-13 overall and an impressive 7-3 in region play, which was good enough for a 4th place finish heading into the region tournament.
In that tourney, the girls went 4-2 in 6 games, earning the number 3 spot out of 8 Quad A, going to the state playoffs for the 2nd straight season. However, despite advancing to the Sweet 16 a year ago, the Lady Raiders were swept 2 games to none against a high-powered Creekview. A senior class of 5 Lady Raiders led the squad under head coach Stephanie Thomas, while 2 Habersham girls earned Player of the Week honors.
Yes, and we'll also later in the show announce those Players of the Week and Players of the Year from Habersham the past year, again later on in the show. Now, the football season was very exciting, featured a Raiders team that was, itching to get back in the state playoffs, a senior class that was looking to get there for the first time. They were one of the highest scoring teams in the state, led by senior Wildcat quarterback Kevin Ellison, who was our 2012 Blitz Player of the Year. A 3-year hiatus again for Habersham in the state playoffs. They hadn't had since Tavares King was here, and that finally ended when the guys rode a 6-4 regular season into the first round of state, where they lost a tough one, 55-48 at Chattahoochee, and that was a heartbreaker in itself. And I didn't get to go to the game, but I saw the highlights, and
it was tough. I was there for that.
It was, you kept up with the scoring throughout the night, but you can't. The thing is, Ellison just you can't deny unbelievable performance for the year. 2,183 yards rushing, and then another 1,025 passing. 44 total touchdowns. He also had a punt return in there for a touchdown. That's a guy, he's going to Georgia Southern to play in the Wildcat. I think that's going to be a great, or not the Wildcat, but an option, run the option over there. I think he's going to fit in quite well over there. Now, Jeremy, I know you, like most of the county, attended a number of these football games. I mean, it was pretty much packed out night in, night out. Talk about what it was like from your perspective, seeing a team that pretty much gave you a heart attack night in, night out. They would score over 40 points a game, but unfortunately they would give up just as many.
Well, interestingly enough, we went into the season, we were a little nervous. We weren't sure how the football team was going to do. After last season, we weren't the best in football, so we were a little nervous. But that first night we beat Appalachia, we upset Appalachia, and that showed us that it was going to be an interesting season. And that was a close game back and forth.
Yeah.
But it brought the fans in, and we really just had an amazing season being able to sit there and watch these people pull off the comebacks. And then we had a heartbreaker against Heritage at home.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah.
But, each night we knew we were going to come out and get a good game. Kevin was going to run for some explosive play, and we were going to get to go crazy. And we just
there was
had an
always
awesome
at least
time.
1 or 2 times he would break a 30-yard gain in a game. And there were games I remember watching the updates on the game at Flowery Branch, being that I couldn't be there, but I kept up with it on my phone. And I had to look twice often because I would be like, wow, they're actually beating Flowery Branch.
It was the second quarter killed us.
Yeah.
That's what hurt in that game. I was there for that one too. I went to every football game this year, and that was second quarter hurt in that one. But for the most part, if you took out the second quarter, we beat them.
Yeah.
They beat us by quite a few in that quarter. But it was great to have a team that was out there and could score some points and can be competitive. And it was heartbreaking occasionally, but man, it was exciting. It was a great time to be around.
Made for some long football games,
yeah,
too.
It did.
A lot of scoring.
It really did. But that's pretty much, it was exciting. Rounding out the fall season, the cross-country squads and volleyball team. The volleyball girls went an even 17-17 and 6-4 in the region, sitting third in the standings. However, an 0-2 tournament left them out of state, despite junior Haley Guerin playing strong enough to win Player of the Year honors on a young team with a lone senior. The boys' cross-country team made state yet again, extending their streak another season under Coach Matt King after becoming region runner-ups. John Gagnon led 3 seniors to a 24th place finish at the state meet, while a young seniorless girls team finished 7th in the region.
All right, well, let's just take a break from our recap of last school year at Habersham Central. But when we come back, we'll spend some time talking with Jeremy about the basketball teams. That would be his specialty from this past season and their huge success here on Blitz.
Dr. Benny Irwin and staff always make sure to provide service with a smile. One of only 6 combined pediatric dentist orthodontists in the state of Georgia, he has multiple locations throughout the region, including offices in Toccoa and Blairsville. Dr. Irwin seeks to make quality care affordable for all his patients with flexible payment options through Care Credit. Dr. Irwin offers free consultations. He also provides the lowest prices for braces in the northern region of Georgia. So call the team at Dr. Benny Irwin's today, providing patients with beautiful smiles in a fun environment.
I'm so glad my doctor delivers at Chestatee Regional Hospital in Dahlonega. From the moment I arrived, I was pampered by dedicated nurses who really care. A large private room provided a warm and comfortable environment, and they even served a gourmet dinner to celebrate our little girl's arrival. Chestatee Hospital helped make this joyous event more than we ever expected.
We've come a long way, so you don't have to.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You can continue to change channels or change the way you watch television. This is the moment when the internet and your TV become one. Introducing Merge High-Speed Internet by Windstream. Stream your favorite shows and movies, share photos, watch videos, and more. Sign up for Merge today and get Hulu Plus free for 6 months, plus 1 month free service. Get Merge for just $52.99 per month. Visit mergenow.com and experience a new path.
Welcome back to Blitz. Brian Carter with special guest Jeremy Wetherton, recapping the 2011-2012 school year of sports at Habersham Central, the school that took the Blitz Cup championship narrowly over Hayesville, North Carolina, and Dawson County. One big reason they won, as Jeremy will discuss, is the great success of the boys and girls basketball squads. Jeremy, you were a member of that basketball team for the boys, and a great year you guys had. Kind of recap the men's basketball season. I know you guys went 18-7. You went 6-4. You were the sub-region champions, but unfortunately suffered a heartbreak in the first round of the Quad A tournament. But I believe, what was it, second most wins in school history?
Yeah, it was second most behind one of the teams that went to state a few years ago, and it was an exciting season to be around. We weren't sure. We knew we could compete with anybody in the region, and we knew that we could beat anybody in the region except Rockdale. Rockdale's just ridiculous, but we knew we could compete with anybody, and it turned out we just won our side of the sub-region, and it worked out in our favor.
Now, talk about with the football season. A lot of those athletes actually played basketball as well. Notably Pat Burns and Kevin Ellison. Those are two key guys that were on the football team, and they had obviously the state playoffs against Chattahoochee. And fortunately for the basketball team, they were just one game in the playoffs, but unfortunately overall for the school.
Yeah.
But what was it like, before you guys got them back, and just the difference of when you got them back out on the court?
Well, it was interesting, and we had our practices. We started practice almost that last week of the season, and so we had 2 weeks of practices without them basically. And we actually had a Thanksgiving weekend tournament where they hadn't practiced but like a day and a half. So it was interesting in the fact that we had to play a couple games without them and just try to figure out who our identity was without them on the court. Those are 2 of our better leaders on the team. They were our vocal leaders, and just they led very well. And without them, other guys had to step up and figure out, who was going to play what role when they're not there. And if there was ever some foul trouble with those 2, we knew where we were going.
Right.
Just based on that, it hurt to some degree to not have them for that long and not build that chemistry, but it also helped us in the long run in that we could sit them and still be able to play without those 2 on the court.
Yeah, how was it playing the first season in the new gym? I mean, that is an awesome facility that it's built there.
It was really fun. That first game against Banks County. Banks County gave us a run for our money. We didn't play them well all year, and we beat them. We only beat them by 10 or so, but that was just a fun game. Energy charged. The place was packed. It was awesome. It was awesome to be around. And then all season, I'm just happy the fans came out and packed out the place. There were a lot of fans there for most every game that we did, except for a couple games we played over Christmas break, which is to be expected.
And I was actually going there next. I believe you play in the annual event there at Piedmont College, and I believe you guys won the event again this year.
That was awesome.
Talk a little about that and how awesome that felt.
That was a fun time. We won it last year and this year, and I'm not sure. I think we won it the year before too. I think this is 3 years in a row we've won it.
I think it's all the years that the event's been going on. I believe.
No, I think the first year they did it, Hart County won it. And I don't think we were in it, something like that. I don't remember, but. We've won the past 3 years, and it's been awesome. Piedmont's got a great facility over there, and we get to use their locker room and be able to be in there and see what it's like to play on a college basketball court in the cave. And it was an exciting experience to be able to play. And we caught North Oconee in that championship game, and they gave us a little bit of a run, but we played them real well and beat them by 20 or so. It was a good time. It was really.
Talk about senior year. Everyone's expectations are high in a senior year, but a team like you guys had quite a bit of seniors, and you had a very great athletic group there. Close knit. You guys could tell that just from going to the games. Just the way you guys would rally, whether you were on or off the court, you guys just supported each other, and it was great to watch. Every senior would say that the best way to go out would be going out on top. Mm-hmm. Granted, you didn't get to make the state playoffs, but you were so close. What was your satisfaction level on your senior season going out?
Well, it was a fantastic season, and winning the sub-region championship, that was our goal. We said that, Ledbetter would come in the locker room, and he would just look at us and be like, our goal is the sub-region championship. We're going to win the sub-region championship. That's what we're going to do this year. And to go out and succeed in doing that, it was an awesome feeling, and it hurt. We had some bad circumstances. We ended up in the first round of the region tournament catching Loganville at Loganville, and they played the night of their lives.
Yeah, I was going to say, I believe they played out of their expectations.
Yeah, they played incredibly well, and we knew we could have beat them. We were down quite a bit going into halftime, and we made up the difference within 4 minutes of the third quarter. It was back and forth.
Yeah.
They got a couple calls, made a couple shots, but
Unfortunately, that's how it works too in the region tournament. Is pretty much one and done there. So you guys had to win that game, I believe,
Yeah.
If
we'd have won that game,
won that, you're
was,
at least guaranteed a 4 spot, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it was just it was a little heartbreaking, but to look back on the season and see what all we accomplished and what all we did, it was good to know that we'd done all that. And, I'd have liked to have seen us go farther, but that's all right. We were there.
Yeah, and Pat Burns, if you guys didn't get to catch during the year, he was our player of the year. He was, one of the impact players on the team, 16 points per game, very dominant force. He averaged 5 rebounds a game, 3 assists per game, and shot 49% from the field. Now, Don Ledbetter's guys' team was awesome, and so were the girls.
Yeah.
A 23-7 season, going 7-3 in region play, led to a number 2 seed heading into the region tournament, where they made school history with a championship win over Salem. The Lady Raiders even advanced to the Sweet 16 before falling to Chamblee, and it was only 4 seniors really that led this group, whereas the guys had 8, including Wetherton here. Garen, who is our volleyball player of the year, also doubled up and was our girls basketball player of the year, so she's quite an athlete, and she will be back next year, already eclipsing 1,000 points by the end of her junior season. Her impact was undeniable for the number 10 Lady Raiders, chipping in with 18.9 points per game, 9.5 boards per game, and getting again to 1,161 career points after just her junior year under Coach John Hood. Jeremy, talk about the relationship that existed between the basketball program in general. I know when I talked to Coach Hood about this, he had said that the guys would cheer on the girls would cheer on the guys. Talk about what that was like, even though, like you said, you guys suffered the heartbreak in the first round of the region tournament, but then you had to still stick around and cheer the girls on as well.
Yeah, it was it was good to cheer them on. We cheered for them, like you said, Coach Hood said. We cheered for them, they cheered for us. It was great, in any games that we were always there to see their games. We were there early so we could watch them, and they always stuck around to see if we won, and if we were ever just blowing them out, they left early. But for the most part, they were there, and they would stick around to the end. And then, when they had their state playoff games, all the team was there. You could have counted the entire boys basketball team was there, cheering them on, being loud and helping them out, and just being like a 6th man out there on the court kind of thing.
Right. And memory serves me right, they hosted a
they hosted too,
which was awesome. They were really, because obviously they were region champions. So I think if they had made it to. Maybe if they had made it past the Sweet 16, I think record-wise they may have had to travel. Maybe
they would have had to go to what?
It depended on who.
I believe we were going to. I think they had it at neutral locations at that point.
Oh, okay.
I think we were headed to
at the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think we were headed to West Georgia.
Right.
If we would have.
So that was a first for the school,
Yeah.
and the girls basketball team just. I mean, I think to me. What sealed the deal for the BLITZ Cup was both the boys and girls basketball team just playing tremendous throughout the year.
It was awesome to see, and then they had a heartbreaker too. Man, that girl, I can't remember her name, but she's going to Georgia Tech, and she came down the court and hit just a little floater right there at the end of the game as the shot's going out. And we actually had a girl clutch up to hit a 3 to put us ahead, and then watched her hit that, and that was a heartbreaker for the girls too. So, but we always supported each other. There was always support, both teams there helping each other out. It was awesome to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, round out the winter season for us.
Well, it was senior Coleman Cunningham who stole the show in Raider Wrestling. He came up with a 50-4 record that included a region title and a sectionals championship. Most importantly, though, he ended his high school career as runner-up finish at state, as well as in football. The co-ed cheer team for Hab Central placed 13th in state under Coach Holly Barrow, rounding out the winter sports season.
Another quick breather, and we'll be back to talk about the spring sports season, find out how the squads did in securing the school their first ever BLITZ Cup championship, back after this.